Okay, so prior to the hip operation, I think I've been suffering from very intensive pain for about a year and a half prior. But up until then, I was still very, very active, running, swimming, cycling pretty much every day. And it was after a small triathlon that I'd done when I really started to feel some pain in my kind of groin and hip area. And that gradually grew and grew and grew as the months sort of wore on. After about a year, I decided I should probably go and see someone about it, and it wasn't just a pulled muscle. So I went to see a hip specialist, and at that point I was told I had osteoarthritis. So prior to my hip replacement, I would say that really sort of probably 8 to 9 months before the hip replacement, I'd started to take painkillers just intermittently, just when the pain was really bad. If I knew I was going to be going for a long walk, I would take painkillers to kind of preempt that pain I would get after sort of 10-15 minutes of walking. I went to see a physio who said, okay, well, worst case scenario is that you might have some problem with worn cartilage, and I'd probably recommend going to see a specialist to maybe see about having a steroid injection. So on his advice, I went to see a hip specialist, and they referred me for an MRI scan, and on the results of the MRI scan, I was told that I had advanced osteoarthritis, and really the best course of action would be a full hip replacement. And on being given the news that I needed a full hip replacement, it was obviously a massive shock. It was the worst news that I could possibly really imagine being given. My initial thoughts were, I had a baby son just been born, and I was worried that I wouldn't be able to sort of play with him when he gets older. I was worried that I wouldn't be able to run around with him, and more sort of immediately I was worried that I wouldn't be able to help my wife and his mother, just carrying up and down the stairs. Okay, so my advice to a friend if they're suffering from hip pain would be to see someone immediately just to get it diagnosed if it was a hip replacement they need. I suppose the way I'd say to them is you've got to look forward past the operation to a lifestyle that you had and that you want to get back to. I can walk as far as I want to walk. I can swim as far as I want to swim. I often do long distance cycling at the weekend. So my quality of life pre-operation and pre-replacement and post-replacement are two very, very different things. Pre-replacement, I was laid on the couch, not being able to get comfortable, walking very small distances, having to really plan how I got from A to B, making sure that I was getting trains and buses to work, and not really partaking in any sports, and coming the weekend, not really doing anything too strenuous or too active. Now compare that to my quality of life now, a year after the replacement, and it's a very, very different picture. I can now throw myself into pretty much any activity, swimming, cycling, I walk a mile to work, a mile home from work. I don't really have to restrict myself in anything that I do. It's gone from being learning of that I've got osteoarthritis and needing a hip replacement, of being a very scary ordeal. But then, as the time has gone on, I would say that the experience has been a great experience. It's been one of challenges, but to stay focused on where I wanted to get to has made me come through the other end and to be able to lead a very active lifestyle. So if you're in a position where you have been given the news of needing a hip replacement, I can't recommend going through the whole process enough. You are going to be worried, you are going to be concerned, but you just need to get on and do it. So just to say a few words about me, where I'm at now and where I hope to be in another year's time. I'm now a year post hip replacement. Next year I'm planning on doing cycling from Land's End to John O'Groats, which I think will be a great challenge. And for me, I'm turning 40 next year, so to complete something like that will mean that I am fully fit, that my hip replacement is a distant memory, and I'm back to my normal self.